How was that lockdown? The early part of it was I put 110% in, so I worked probably every day from probably 7 o'clock in the morning till probably 7 o'clock at night, Saturdays and Sundays. And after maybe 2 weeks of doing that, I thought, wow, I need to have a little break. So what I found is that first period, I worked probably slightly too hard. The plan for the next 5 years is to continue growing. It's to continue to employ good people and continue to look after our clients who've been exceptionally loyal to us during this period. The world's changed. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. There's a lot of talk about people not working back in the offices. I don't believe that's going to be the case. People need people, as I've said lots of times. So the social interaction between people is really important. How people work remotely will change forever. So it's speeded up our off-site working. When we had the initial lockdown, I had never really heard of Teams, heard of Skype, and thought, oh, I'm not sure about that. But now we're actually super efficient with actually off-site working. In the early part of lockdown with furlough, it prevented anybody from moving, surprisingly. So we were looking to recruit in the very early stages, but some people were concerned that if they moved to a new company, they would lose the furlough rights. So it actually meant that people didn't move during that period. And we felt that there'd be more people around to recruit. And there have been more people around, but certain groups of people have been sort of decided to sit tight. But we have interviewed people. We've interviewed several people through Zoom, and we've actually taken a young lady on, Emily Warburton, as our bid writer to improve the team. The last 3 months for Sutcliffe, we've seen coming out of the first phase of COVID. So during that period, we have retained all of our staff. We've brought back the majority of the staff from furlough. We've got a couple of people who are still working from home of the office, but the majority of the staff are back in the office. We've put plans in place for growth for the next 12 months. We've been closely monitoring our market share. Our market share has remained strong, and I actually think it may have improved. Construction sector shrunk during that period because there was less coming to site, but I believe our share has probably grown slightly. What I think happens during difficult times, people tend to go towards quality businesses, so you give something to a safe pair of hands to make sure that they deliver during that year. And one of the best assets that we've had for going into the COVID is that we've gone into this crisis on the back of our strongest year ever. So during lockdown, the staff have coped quite well. What I've noticed, we employ approximately 50 people, and there's been a variety of different issues that we've had to deal with. So initially there was a period of people uncomfortable coming into the office, thinking that they came into the office and that they were going to have an instant problem. But as we stand today, I think the figures that we're talking about in the worst places, I think are 20 in 100,000 people. Really low statistics, so you have more chance of being knocked over. So I think when people realise actually the risks are low, so you come into the office and somebody's moved this. Oh yeah, somebody's moved. The hand sanitizers are absolutely everywhere, but the hand sanitizers are there, we've just moved them for the camera. So hand sanitizers, encouraging everybody to keep their hands clean, socially distance, and making sure that the spaces and the gaps between the people. So we're actually maintaining that. But I think one of the things I've realised, and this is not just through work, but a lot of people have struggled during this period. There's all sorts of statistics that are out there. So I think in terms of suicide rates are on the up. In fact, the statistics are the worst they've ever been, especially for men, and mental health is an issue. So whilst we've not experienced any of that in here, we have to be very, very conscious of that and support that. So people have families, so all the families outside of them are experiencing difficulty. So we're trying to support the staff as much as possible. We've got most of the staff back in the office, but not completely. There's one or two staff. Anybody who's in the shielding group, we've allowed them to continue. We've got a couple of people in the shielding groups. I've used a word which is collaborative productivity. That word means to me that we work better as people. Humans are very social animals, and we get the best out of people by communicating with people. A couple of examples would have been that when people were working remote, they didn't talk to each other as effectively. So it could actually quite be that, well, I forgot to tell you that I wanted you to do that, and they do this. So I mean that the priority list wasn't as effective. And sometimes talking through a problem with somebody face to face, an engineering problem or a surveying problem or a geotechnical problem, you get a better solution than actually talking through an email or over the phone. So we have actually, since more of the staff have come back, we've seen an improvement around productivity. The new projects and new work for Sutcliffe is looking healthy. We're a quality business, and I say times like this, clients look for quality businesses. So over the last couple of months, we built a new hospital in Cheshire, which fingers crossed we will see that. We've just been appointed on a project in Manchester. I can't say what it is just yet until it's all official. We won the Procure framework with Robbie Blackhurst, which we're delighted for different services, which are civil and structural and principal designer role, which we're really pleased with. We've also won a Midlands framework, which is only a very recent one. So we're seeing the outlook for construction and what we do as being strong. There's a bit of pent-up hunger. People just want to do stuff. So we're going to be one of those people that are ready to jump. The growth of the business has remained strong during recent years. So we've achieved 5 to 10% growth annualised for the last 5 or 6 years, and that's what we're looking to continue to do. And we believe we will do that. We're looking to move into the new territories, which is the Midlands. We've got plans for the Midlands, and then we're going to continue to grow our service offerings in the areas that we're in, and continue to grow in the sectors that we're in. So the sectors that we're currently very strong in, we are market leaders in, is housing, education, healthcare. The services we're particularly strong in are civil and structural engineering, geotechnical and environmental engineering, principal designer, and building surveyor. As I said, if anybody's got problems in those sectors, then we are market leaders and we know how to deal with all of the problems that could arise around those particular types of services. Priorities for the next 6 months, I would say, is to make sure that the office remains open. We're looking to retain all of our staff. We're looking to recruit a couple of people. We'd love to recruit another apprentice. It's been really difficult. That's one type of position that's been difficult to recruit, because you've got to see that person. So we're looking to recruit another apprentice. So we've got a fabulous record in training apprentices. So we've got apprentices in this company who started when they were 16, and some of them are now directors and shareholders. At the moment, we've got a handful of people at John Moores University who are training, doing part-time degrees and part-time studying. So we'd love to get another school leaver in, and we'd love to train another apprentice. We're still going to celebrate. It's just going to be a different celebration. We had one of the staff, his son got married, and it was all behind closed doors and it was on a camera, so he still had a good party. So we'll still have a good party, but we've got a couple of events coming up. One of the ones we're actually looking forward to is the Liverpool events, which are up for a couple of awards, which we're very proud of. That particular event will be just staff only. So typically we'd have took staff and clients, but we've got 2 or 3 other events, and in the run-up we're just going to make them into nights out. But we're going to have a big party, big bash next year, and everybody's listening to this will be invited. So if you don't get invited, then just ring me up, because you will be invited. So sometime next year we're going to have a big bash next year. Undecided where it is at the moment, because that'll probably be decided closer to the time. I think we have a moral responsibility to deal with right. As I said, strong people, strong businesses have to be leaders, and we have to lead the way and give that impression out there to the wider community that it's safe. Liverpool is a safe place to be. Manchester is a safe place to be. Over the previous weeks, did a bit of travelling around, and you find that those type of areas are very localised. Liverpool's different to Manchester. Warrington's different to Liverpool. Other smaller conurbations are different. So I think that the local people have a responsibility to send out that impression that the areas are safe. People need to feel confident that coming into the city centre, if they wear the masks, they wear the sanitisers, that they look after themselves, that it's a safe place to do business. And I think they will probably enjoy that experience of coming back into the city centre. Liverpool Bid have done a tremendous job on this of keeping people abreast and informed of things. This is just a small example. So they have a WhatsApp group that all the people in this sort of area have. So there's different organisations who are on that WhatsApp group telling people what the current status is on footfalls and issues that are coming out. So I think, unfortunately, I'm apolitical. So the governments, in my opinion, haven't done a great job in terms of managing this process. But I think Liverpool has done a better than average job. So we've done a good job. We've managed to send out the message about making sure the areas are safe. We've closed down Castle Street. We've enabled businesses to reopen up again. And that's sending out this message that we're still carrying on. But Liverpool as a city has done a really, really good job. So businesses need to be confident in it. It starts at the top with the client group. So the client group, typically at this moment in time, are mainly public sector in this region. So it could be a healthcare provider, it could be a residential social landlord, or it could be an education authority, it could be the local authority. They have a responsibility to make sure that they keep on instructing people to carry on undertaking new projects. So a couple of examples would be places like Wigan Council. They've carried on with their extra care facilities, which has been really good. Or it could be a healthcare trust who actually think we're still going to still build that extension to the Women's Hospital because we need it. So we need the people at the top of the food chain to continue signing the contracts and passing those contracts to the contractors, and that feeds all the way through down the food chain. There's always winners and losers, so I'll give you two examples of winners. Won't give you any losers. Two examples of winners. Amazon, they're booming, absolutely booming. So what's happened over the last period? Then people are actually buying everything online. So Amazon are looking to expand. They're looking to take on staff. Another example was recently industrial has taken a bit of a lift. So during these periods, we need to go with whatever is most financially viable during that period. So there are winners in this period, even though there's a lot of negative press out there, but there are people who are doing fabulously well during this period. Yeah, what I'd like Sutcliffe to be, I want us to be a market leader. I want the company to be run by leaders. I want us to be an ethical employer. And I want us to set the bar and the standard of how people should conduct themselves during these difficult times and going forwards.